Hey, everybody, it's Ron Johnson, and this is Locked On Sports Minnesota. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Saturday, Sunday. I mean, my kids listen to Kids Bob every day I take them to school, so that's in my head. But it is Friday. It's the Roundtable. I'm Ron Johnson. That's Julia Daniels. We got Reggie Wilson. We got Sam Ekstrom. And we're going to talk a little Gophers. We're going to talk Vikings. We might even talk, has Taylor Swift gotten, put on the back burner now? I don't know. But we'll talk about all that. But first, we got to get locked in on this show. So, Julia, what you got for us?
All right, we're talking border battle. How do the Vikings handle the Packers? What are we expecting this weekend?
Wolves made me look bad, man. They come out looking clunky. We'll talk about their opening season performance.
And the Wild haven't been too sharp either. They are 3-1 through 7 games. Do we have any meaningful takeaways from the start of the Minnesota Wild season?
And for those watching on YouTube, Amazon Fire, Roku, you see it. Roll the boat. We're going to talk about this boat. Oars are in the water, people. Gophers, Michigan State. Can the Gophers rattle off, like we said, 4 out of the next 5 games and put themselves in a really good bowl game, possibly the Big Ten Championship? We'll talk about that much more coming up on the Roundtable. And so with no further ado, Julia, everybody wants to know about this Vikings-Packers game. To me, it hasn't had the allure of past seasons with no Aaron Rodgers. But what you think about this game?
Yeah, I also think it's kind of like hangover time, a little bit after this Monday night game. If anything about Monday, it just taught us that we just don't know when it comes to the Vikings, right? They surprise us in executing the way that they've talked about executing all season. Also, just, you're right. Without Rodgers there, I think the only time the Vikings haven't seen Favre or Rodgers since before I was born was 2 times when Rodgers was out, I think. And that's it. So you just don't know. I mean, if I were to pick, I would say confidently the Vikings. I think these D-backs are ready to keep the ball rolling, and they see a young quarterback like Jordan Love. They want to take advantage of that. I would also say it could be a close game too, a 1-score game, which also, if this was last year, I'd say Vikings for sure. This year, 1-score games, maybe a little less confident, but overall, even missing JJ, man, Jordan Addison looks very special out there. You got to get the run game going a little bit more, but yeah, definitely a little less exciting, especially with a short week and coming off a game like the 49ers. But Vikings fans should be excited and confident headed into this one.
Reggie.
So I think it's interesting because this Jordan Addison, Jair Alexander matchup should be fun because Jair,
he's got a bad back, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He
I don't know if he's going to play.
Well, that would be a development. Yeah. But I think I would just want to see him continue to mature. I think he matured a lot in that game on Monday night. Got the ball ripped from him. I'm like, yeah, dude needs to get in the weight room. Like, he can't just be having people out there taking his cookies like that. And then in that second one, he was like, "Oh no, never mind. Like, I'm strong now. I'm gonna take the cookies back." It was just like, okay, all right. One thing though, I don't think anybody in the league has blitzed more than Brian Flores, and I think that's gonna be a good recipe for this defense because Jordan Love, God love him, but he has been prone to making mistakes. Like, he continues to throw interception after interception. And look, with this Vikings defense being as opportunistic as they've been the last few weeks with turnovers, I think this presents a good opportunity for them to pressure a young quarterback, get after him a little bit. Maybe something similar to the game plan they have for Justin Fields, because Jordan Love can use his legs a little bit more than we saw from Brock Purdy. So they're going to have to keep contained on him and make him beat you as a passer. And we have seen, like I said, that he is prone to throwing you one. So I think that's the defensive game plan. And you just want to see the offense carry over the effort. Kirk Cousins 9 for 12 on third downs. You want to just continue to see them carry over that effort without JJ, on offense on Sunday.
Let me get a hot take in here. I miss Aaron Rodgers. I miss him. I miss the rivalry. I miss the matchup. I miss the buildup. I miss the trash talk. I miss the vitriol. I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable looking at the opposing quarterback and saying, yeah, he's terrible against the blitz. He's terribly inaccurate. He's just bad. I miss the having to go up against the best. So I'm maybe in the minority here, but I wish that A-Rod was healthy and wearing green of the Packers color because the storylines were just too good. But this is a dream matchup for the Minnesota Vikings defense right now. Jordan Love is mired in the biggest slump of his young career so far. It's not a very long career. He's 30th in the league when under pressure in passer rating. That's not going to play well against the Brian Flores defense. So if the Vikings offense shows up in this game and puts together just an adequate performance, I think the defense should be able to carry the way here, which is a huge reversal from last season where we were just nervous about the defense every single game. Were they going to blow it? And now I'm just saying, hey, I have confidence that they are going to handle Jordan Love and the Packers. Offense, don't turn the ball over. Jordan Addison, don't get your cookies taken. And I think the Vikings will win this football game.
For me, and I do agree with you, Sam. When you look at completion percentage for Jordan Love, he's 32nd. For those that don't know, I think there's 32 teams in the NFL. So you guys can do the math on that. He also, when you look at yardage, he's 22nd. Like, he's not a guy, and I kind of understand the Aaron Rodgers, like, missing him thing, but at the other end of it, I'm like, I'll take 2 W's against the Packers, make them nice and easy. Kind of like Iowa, offense sucking it up. Like, I'll take that. Just like Wisconsin might not have running backs when we play them at the end of the year, I'll take that as well. Like, I really don't care. I'll take the wins. But I do understand, and maybe that's why I said, like, it doesn't feel like a border battle of pass because there's no Aaron Rodgers, there's no vitriol, there's no absolute hate for the team. It's just kind of like you almost feel bad. Like, they're 2-4, so you're just like, who is this team? And so this is one of those trap games, and this is why I say that. When you look at their defense, and I brought the stat up before, they're 14% completion when you're in 3rd and 8 or higher, 3rd and 8 to 3rd and 15. So they do a really good job when they're on schedule, 1st and 2nd down. When they're off schedule, when they let you get in 3rd and 3, they drop drastically, 44% on 1st downs and 3rd downs. First down and touchdowns on 3rd down. And so with that said, this team, Kirk Cousins specifically, has to stay ahead of schedule. When you watch Jared Goff, the way he handled the Packers, that's the way this has to go. I don't think you give any hope. And when you look at their injury report for the Packers, it's a laundry list of names, literally a laundry. Like, Valentine at corner would not be playing if guys were. Darnell Savage is on IR now. Like, they are really hurting on the back end for their DBs. And then vice versa. Other than Marcus Davenport, the Vikings seem like they've been pretty healthy throughout this. And I feel like the 49ers game gave them a bit of confidence that everybody was wondering, because every single game, again, has been 1-score games. And so they haven't been bad. They haven't gotten blown out even by the Eagles. And that was the one thing we said. When they go to the Eagles, like, hopefully they don't get boat raced, and they didn't. Well, now we have what we have. So I think this is going to be a close one as well. But I do feel like the Vikings, this should be the one that we shouldn't see a 1-score game. Hopefully this is a win by 14 type of game, win by 13. But again, this is the Minnesota Vikings, and you just never know. We've been here for a while. Now it's time for the FanDuel, the part we all love, the FanDuel locks. There's some that you can always bet on. I think I even said it about last week about the 49ers. Like, I was a little bit nervous in the fact that they have to win everything plus win the money line. And I'm glad I didn't take that one. So we're going to talk about the FanDuel locks, starting off with Reggie. What you got?
Ooh. So based on how the last several weeks have gone, this is probably the easiest one that I could do. Anytime touchdown scorer, Jordan Addison, plus 155. Okay. Give it to me, man. Give it to me. Book it.
Sam.
Yeah, I like that. So the Vikings are favored by 1.5.
That's ridiculous.
I don't think that's enough. I'm going to go to alternate spread. and I'm going to crank that thing up from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 13.5. Vikings by 2 touchdowns, and I'm going to get paid plus 450 on that winning margin. I would also sprinkle a little dust on Christian Watson under 47.5 receiving yards. I don't know if he's fully healthy. And he's had a lot of clunkers this year already. So I think that the Vikings will shut down Watson, who I don't trust at all. I'm very bullish on the Vikings. I don't know if I should be this confident, but I like the purple a lot.
Be careful, Sam.
Yeah, it's dangerous road.
Julia.
I'm going to go to score 2 or more touchdowns. And I'm going with Jordan Addison.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Plus 1,200 for that one. Hey, I got confidence in that guy. I mean, it's also TJ's on here for plus 1,400. 2 or more touchdowns. You can make some money off those guys.
Well, the one I'm going to go with, and I have to kind of do this because I picked him. Sorry, Sam, did you look at the injury report? Was Aaron Jones on it? He's on it, right?
Yeah, Aaron Jones is on it. I think it was limited. Limited with a hamstring.
But AJ Dillon is going.
Dillon is good.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Jones is a hammy.
And so hamstring, running back, you just don't know. And so here's where I go with this. I have a 3-person. So this is a plus, was it plus 2,600? You got Jordan Addison, anytime touchdown score. So I'm going to see Reggie's, and I'm going to raise him, a TJ Hawkinson, and then AJ Dillon, anytime touchdown scores. I feel like the Packers understand the only way to slow down the blitz is run the ball. And I know Matt LaFleur knows that. He also knows I don't want to let Jordan Love out to the Wolves. I can't put raw meat out for the Sharks. Like, I have to protect him in his own shell. How do I do that? I got to find a way to motion, shift, and run the ball because the 49ers did it. Then the 49ers called the Vikings slipping with the slip route to what's his name in the flat, Christian McCaffrey. And so I think he's thinking the same thing. So that's why anytime touchdown score, I'm going to go with AJ Dillon. I think Aaron Jones, who knows if he plays or not. If he does, he might be limited. But I think Jordan Addison, when you watch the Broncos game and you watch, and I hope Jair Alexander does not play because Valentine, if you watch, and if you guys want to watch, I'm doing the breakdown on Sunday on the pregame show, Ron's film review. I am going to pick on number 37 3 times in a row on third down. Teams attacked him multiple times within that game, though. 3 different games, 37 got attacked, Valentine. So I hope the Vikings identify. That's my word for the day on Sunday. Identify. If you can identify what number 37 is, I hate to say it, and Reggie, you know this from basketball, when you have a mouse in the house, go to the big man. So whoever 37 lines up on.
Barbecue chicken.
Hey, barbecue chicken. You alert, and then you go after him because he is terrible in man. He is terrible in zone. He doesn't know how to turn his head and find the ball. I mean, Russell Wilson threw 3 balls that should have been picked off if he just knew how to locate the ball, and it dropped like right over his helmet into the receiver's breadbasket. So it's like, dude, just turn and find it and put your hands up. Like, he doesn't know the little things. And I think he's young and he's panicking and he's trying to like make a play. But yeah, he just doesn't look good right now. And vice versa, when you look at what Kirk Cousins can do, you locate 37. So that's why I think Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, AJ Dillon, those are my 3 that I think can score. And we are going to talk about this Wolves because I picked the Wolves to beat the Raptors. And I was like, this is nothing. Like we talked about this on the basketball party with Reggie and Sam. I was like, this is a game where you're like, they're going to blow them out. This is nothing. And then you watch the highlights and you see Anthony Edwards get off. You see Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert go to work. And then you just like, what is going on? How are the Raptors still here? So we'll talk about that next, but we have a word from our sponsors.
Yes, we do, Ron. Let's talk about Jase Medical. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world there. Just in 2023, we've had fires, we've had hurricanes, we've had earthquakes, and the trickle-down effect of that, there are supply chain shortages for medication, and you want to feel prepared. You want to know that you are protected in case of emergency, and that's where Jase Medical comes in with their Jase Case, a personalized emergency medication kit that contains 5 essential antibiotics to treat the most common and deadly bacterial infections. It gives you a lot of peace of mind to have those on hand when you need them, because it's a hassle. If you're feeling sick, you're under the weather, a loved one is sick, it's hard to get an appointment. It's hard to get your prescriptions fulfilled at the pharmacy. It's not easy. If you have it on hand, then you can have some of that security. You go to jasemedical.com and you consult with their professionals. You get the medication you need. They provide delivery and ongoing consultation. jasemedical.com. Enter the promo code Locked On at checkout for a $20 discount on your order. Promo code Locked On at jasemedical.com.
Well, the Jase case, like he said, 50 plus antibiotics. I mean, come on now, people. With all things going on, who doesn't need a good antibiotic on the go? But now it's time to talk about the Wolves. I mean, I don't know what else to say about them besides, like, come on, people. But Reggie, what are your thoughts right now on the Wolves?
Give the Wolves an antibiotic. Does that work? So I said on Care 11 yesterday, the Wolves made me look bad. I got on air, talk about, Timberwolves, I think they could be a 4 seed this year. It's going to be great. And then I got on Al Gore's internet on this podcast on Wednesday, and I said that they would beat the Raptors by double digits. Idiot. Me. Why would I say such a thing? Like,
You get one of these, Reggie.
You blew it. You blew it.
Why would I say these things? Man, they came out looking clunky. They had twice 10-point deficits against the Raptors. Like, what happened up there in Canada? It was interesting. Anthony Edwards scored a game-high 26 points, but he shot 8 for 27, made 6 of 6 free throws, and he was kind of saved by his 3-point efforts. He went 4 of 7 from 3. Cat, my goodness, inefficient. 8 for 25 for 19 points. He went 2 for 10 from 3-point, and that last 3 was like as the time was expiring. So that one didn't really, I don't know. It counted, obviously, but other than that, he was 1 for 9 from 3. And that's just not going to get it done. The Timberwolves as a whole, they shot 34% from the field, only scoring 94 points. All the star power they have on that team, minus Jay McDaniels, I get it. 94 points on opening night, and that offense just looked clunky. One of the biggest concerns, and Ant talked about it in the post game, they allowed 34 points in transition. Half-court defense looked good. Couldn't do anything in transition. Just a terrible effort out there. So, you like to say, hey, it's going to get better this weekend against the Heat, but that's going to be a tough one. And so they got to go back to the drawing board. They got to get some stuff together because that was a clunky offensive performance, bad transition defense. They got to get some stuff going in the worst way headed into Saturday's home opener.
Yeah. I watched this whole game, and I think it was the first offensive possession. Cat gets the ball 22 feet from the basket and like pivots in a circle and does some kind of lean in junk that clanks off the rim. And that was the whole game. Everyone was just going one-on-one. There was no ball movement. Shot selection was horrible. And there was no one off the bench to save them either. Like, Finch went with a really tight rotation. I was kind of surprised. Troy Brown played 5 minutes, didn't score. Naz Reid was pretty mediocre, I thought. Shake Milton had as many fouls as he did points. Kyle Anderson wasn't his usual productive self. And even though he was plus 15 in the plus minus, but just no ball movement. It was stagnant. I felt like Towns was out for himself. I thought Edwards was, like you said, Reggie, put up a lot of shots, but very, very low efficiency, just not a cohesive effort at all. So, I mean, I know they've got the yips when they go to Toronto, but got to see more than that. I mean, that was not a unit that's been together for a year. I got to see more against the Heat on Saturday.
Julia.
I think Chris Finch said they looked sticky out there when they talked about the ball movement. I didn't get to catch most of the game, but Twitter was not happy with the Wolves on Wednesday night. A lot of the same from last year, and the result, shows that as well. And a mediocre team that the Wolves fall to. I mean, that's why they ended up in a play-in last year, right? Yeah, I would also say, the too cool for school act only works for Cat if he's producing on the court, right? So I don't know. 17% of their shots were for when they were wide open, and that's it. It was the majority was tight and very tight coverage on Wednesday. Yeah, I would hope when they get back here, they look like a different team, but I think, it's only game 1 of 82, right? So obviously there's work to do. But hey, at least they're not the Bulls having a players only meeting after game 1, right? Could be worse. Could be worse.
Well, first of all, I don't know how he could say his team looks sticky without laughing. That was just one for me that was very interesting. I'm immature though, so that's my problem. But no, for me, Reggie, I'm with you. Like, I felt very embarrassed that I said they were going to be a 4 or 5 seed as well. I felt very embarrassed that I said this team is going to dominate the teams they should win. They should beat. This is a team that I feel like again, walking to the gym, you look over at them. If you're like playing pickup basketball, those are the type of guys you pick up. You look at Rudy Gobert's height. You look at karl-anthony Towns' size. You look at Anthony Edwards over there in the corner just dribbling like crazy, shooting deep threes. You look over, you see Mike Conley just looking like a consummate pro. And then you look over at the rest of the bench and you're like, man, these dudes, okay, all right. And you see them get on the court. And I think Sam, I forgot who said it, maybe Sam or Reggie, but defense. I think that's the key, is like, that's the other part of basketball that we forget. They can score. They can score in bunches. I just feel like they got away from their game, and maybe this is Minnesota nice within the Timberwolves, but at some point, like Michael Jordan said, this is my team. Kobe Bryant said, this is my team. Anthony Edwards can't be afraid to score 40 points a night. Like, it's almost like they pass it off. Like he gets hot and it's like, okay, somebody else needs to go now. Like, what's that thing? Like the stupid little kids thing in the morning where everybody made fun of those little kids talking about go, your turn, go. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel
Who's
like it's
next?
Like, right there it is. I don't even know what that is, but it's so weird. I hate that. But that's what it feels like. It feels like everybody feels, okay, somebody else needs to go. Like, no, like, score 81 points on Jalen Rose if you have to. Like, Kobe Bryant did not care. Like, I even love Jordan Poole right now with the Washington Wizards. When you see his teammates like with their hands up, like, yo, I'm open. And then he goes to the sideline after, like, yo, I got this. Go get it off the rim. Like, that's Mamba mentality. And at some point, Anthony Edwards and Cat need to get it, because this whole passing and getting everybody involved, who cares if you're winning by, like Reggie said, by double digits? Like, just go after it. Go do what you guys do best. Be the attacker. Don't be the passer. And that passive, to me, is never going to put them in the top 3, because Kevin Durant, Booker, Steph, Clay, like, those are killers. Like, I feel like the I was going to say Vikings, the Wolves, they don't really have a killer. Like, somebody's got to be the killer. I think it is Anthony Edwards, but I don't know what he needs to be activated. Maybe Reggie needs to go stare him down or something. And I don't know. Like, but I feel like he should put a Michael Myers mask on every time he steps on the court and have everybody scared. That's just me though. Like, I'm
Hip Hop Harry, Ron. You want him to be Hip Hop Harry.
I don't want to be Hip Hop Harry. I want him to stop being Hip Hop Harry. Stop saying who's next. Like, stop that. Stop saying who has a chance.
Go, Harry. Go, Harry. Yeah.
It's one of those TikTok things that I don't understand.
It's like I don't even know what that is. It's like it was a cartoon, or not a cartoon. Sorry. It's like a show.
It's like a show. Yeah. It's like Barney.
Yeah. He's basically like Barney, and they do
people.
Like hip hop stuff, and they do like dances, but it's like everybody at the end, or I don't know when. Actually, I've never watched the show. I just see it on Twitter all the time because people make fun of some of these kids like nonstop.
Comes on Amazon and Tubi.
Tubi, that should have told you right away. Tubi needs to be stopped. Like, that explains a lot of it. Tubi, must be stopped. Like, I just saw a Tubi Twitter video of the cameraman. Like, the other cameraman got the other cameraman in the movie, and they didn't edit it out.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, like ducked around the corner too. Like, all right, I'm gonna just act like y'all don't see me over
microphone
here.
in the shot.
Oh my God, Tubi has to be stopped. Like, this is not okay.
Take them down.
But Hip Hop Harry, yes, they need to stop being Hip Hop Harry and be Michael Myers, be Freddy, be Jason, be something scary. Like,
but funny enough, Ron, Anthony Edwards, I think it was interesting because he didn't have an efficient night.
Yeah.
And so he said this, but after the game, he was like, yeah, I started to put a little too much on myself, and I just started forcing shots and XYZ. And so I got to be better. He was like, I got to blame myself. Yeah, he's like, I blame myself. I got to be better. And so it's interesting because, like, if he's hitting shots, I think he is continuing. I mean, he took 27 of them things. Like, I think if he's hitting those shots, then he's fine. I actually don't think he has a problem being like the alpha. Like, hey, look, I'm putting these shots up, because Ant is a guy that's like, look, I'm gonna get mine. I don't know, Cat, you forcing those shots. You think you're a guard, but
but Julia said, I mean, what Julia just said though, like, the game plan, like, what is the game plan? And that's what I mean,
whoever knows,
right? That's what I'm saying. Chris Finch won't ever tell us. Like, we're not gonna, like, it's not like Brian Flores, like, we know he's gonna blitz. But I just wonder that, like, what is the game plan? Because Anthony Edwards, if he's not driving to the hole and then trying to dish and be the facilitator, like, Mike Conley can knock down threes when he's wide open. And if you notice, a lot of the times when Anthony Edwards was thinking about making a move, they would sag off a little bit, kick it out. If they don't sag, keep going. Like, be the guy, be like Mike, like, go up, go with the left. Like, you don't even need to, but just use the left because you're Michael Jordan and you want to be historic on a Gatorade commercial. By the way, I hate to hate on Michael Jordan fans. That move was unnecessary. All he had to do was lay the ball up on the right side of the hoop. Like, to take it to the left was just doing it for no reason because he's Michael Jordan. He got
freaky with it. Let him cook. Let him cook.
That was the jelly before the jelly. Like, he started the jelly. And now kids have gotten famous for it. Michael Jordan just didn't have the internet. But we got to jump over to these Gophers and their winning streak potentially. Their winning streak potentially against Michigan State. I'll kick this one off just because, we're rolling the boat over here. When I look at the Gophers, and I'm going to be quick with this one because I don't want to put too much on it just in case we come back next week and they lost. And I don't think they will. Michigan State is a team that, like, sometimes when you set stuff on fire, you want to put it out. But I don't know if you guys remember the Batman movie when Batman's butler was telling him about the Joker, the real Joker, the best Joker ever, which is Heath Ledger. He said, some people just want to see stuff burn and they don't know why. That was the Joker. That is Michigan State right now. They just want to burn. Like, they are playing Usher in the locker room every weekend talking about just let it burn. Like, they are terrible. So if they are terrible, this is what the Gophers need to do. Zach Taylor, I combine the names. Zach Evans and Darius Taylor hopefully are both healthy, because we never know with the college football deal. Like, they lie all week to us, and then all of a sudden this guy's not playing. But hopefully they're both healthy, and they just run the ball down Michigan State's throat. Ethan Caligmanis as well. Hopefully they can get a lead where he can go out there and actually throw the ball to the tight end, and he can actually catch it. He can actually make some easy throws and kind of get into the groove of this, because he's going to need to throw against Purdue and Illinois, and then, of course, against Wisconsin. But this should be a game. Ohio State, we'll see. But this should be a game they should just run over them. This should be a game. Now, the weather's not going to be great. 30-something degrees. PJ Fleck said he's turned the air conditioner on in the indoor because he didn't want to be outside, and he wanted the players to be cold and feel what it feels like to catch a ball in the cold, run the ball in the cold, so on and so forth. Wear whatever you're going to wear on Saturday. PJ's big on that. But this is a team they should beat because Michigan State does not want to be there. Mel Tucker is still trying to get them to pay him his money, and so there's a lot hanging over the heads of this Michigan State team. I feel bad for him, but this should be a game the Gophers just run away with. But again, Minnesota sports, it's always close for no reason. Julia, what do you think about this Michigan State Gophers game?
I mean, the Gophers are 0-1 against a team that's scandalous this season. So,
wait a minute.
That's a good poll. That's a good point, Julia.
Just saying. You just
There's nothing wrong with videotaping the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if Darius Taylor and Zach Evans play. I know they had those like injuries that they went out with last weekend. So hopefully they're playing, and then, like you said, Ron, they can just run all over them. If not, Ethan and Daniel Jackson have got to work out the passing game just for extra security in a game that they should easily win. Also, if defense plays like they did last week, the pass rush against a redshirt freshman quarterback, I don't really know how the guy moves or not. He probably moves a little bit better than Iowa's quarterback does.
Wait, you were a Powder Puff quarterback?
Yeah. But
is there footage though? Is there highlights?
No.
Is there some Julia Daniels Power Puff? Like, come on now, gotta have the highlight. I know your mom got them.
No, she wouldn't let me. My sister got hurt really bad during Powder Puff, so I was not allowed to play.
Oh.
I know. It's always something like that. They always ruin it for me. But yeah, I think Gophers should be confident headed into this one. But again, you really can't trust them, can you?
And one fun fact, though, you brought up Daniel Jackson. He was the only receiver that caught a pass. Ethan threw 25 passes. He only had 2 people catch balls for him. The tight end dropped 1. Corey Crooms dropped 3. Like, that was the worst possible outcome for that game. I think they dropped 8 balls.
Where's Brevin? Yeah, we would love to see Brevin.
I think everybody would. I think everybody would. At this point, honestly, I think Sam and we early in the season, we all picked him thinking he was going to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's time to move on from that.
He was supposed to be, yeah.
Reggie, what you got?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like it's funny. Like Michigan State hasn't won a game since Mel Tucker was the head coach, and that they've lost 5 straight. And I can't say the whole thing, but Jamel Hill's tweet pretty much summed up that game last week against Michigan. Did you see it, Ryan? She was like, I didn't confirm.
See it, but my mom was her 6th grade teacher, so I know Jamel. So yeah, so I know she's always got something funny to say.
If there are naughty words, I can censor that with this.
Well, yeah, but she was just like, I can confirm that Michigan State didn't even pinch the, but yeah. So coming off a 49-0 loss, like, good Lord, you would hope that Minnesota could do what needs to be done. 7.5-point favorites. So that's probably bad news, right? It's probably
not a lot.
Like, don't do that. Don't do that to Minnesota like that. But honestly, I've still just been waiting to see a heck of a performance from Ethan. Like, through 7 games, he's 86 of 161, 923 yards, 6 TDs, 6 interceptions. Just not anything that's gonna be world beating. And I know this Gophers team leans a lot on the run, but like, I want to see Ethan go out there and let that bowl cut fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, go out there and let it rock, dude. Like, go. I don't know.
Why you gotta go after that man haircut like that,
dude? If you're gonna wear that in the year of our Lord 2023, go out there and show people.
He catches straight bullets.
In.
His barber just called a straight bullet for no reason.
Put it back in. Is that a barber cut, or is that just a? Let me just, go ahead, Sam.
Before the season started, his hair looked nice. We don't know what's going on now.
Like, he's like the Dawson Creek quarterback. Like, he's every early 90s TV quarterback. That's the cut. Sam, what you think about PJ and PJ versus Mel Tucker's assistants?
Well, this was a while ago, but Ron, you quoted Batman's butler and you didn't use the Michael Caine accent. How could you missed a huge opportunity there.
Oh, you're right. You
should have done that.
I forgot about the accent. You had it right there though. You had it a little bit.
What Bruce,
the accent.
Bruce, you have to hang up the Batman cape. That's all I got. I think Michael Caine's retired now, by the way. I was going to say rest in peace, but he's not dead. He's just retired.
That's the funniest thing. I saw somebody tweet that one day, like rest in peace to somebody, and the person was still alive and tweeted like, man, y'all need to stop.
Hey, it happens to the best of us.
I think it's like Dionne Warwick or something. Like, somebody thought Dionne Warwick had died.
Oh my gosh.
And she joins Twitter just to tell people she wasn't dead.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh, we're off the rails. But it's this is a game where usually I think PJ, when he thinks that they can just win with the ground game, he'll just win with the ground game. I would like to see Ethan develop some confidence with the passing game because they're going to need it if they're going to threaten in Ohio State later in the season, if they're going to beat Wisconsin. I would like to see that cultivated. But Michigan State, they can't run the ball at all. They're averaging 3.3 yards per carry or something this year. It's bad. Their penalty yardage is excessive. Their turnovers, they've got 5 games this year with multiple turnovers. So, again, this is the weekend of Sam's confidence. Sam is confident about the Vikings. He's confident about the Gophers. So we're destined probably for an 0-2 weekend, folks. But, hey, it feels good to have confidence for once.
But when you think about this, Michigan State also put Hitler on their Jumbotron. So they are literally just imploding. And then they had to make a public apology for
Why
doing
did they
that.
do that again? How did that happen?
The whole story, no, it was a trivia question. And so,
Lord.
And they're like, yeah, but you guys picked the trivia question and then still thought it was okay after you did it? Like with everything going on in the world right now, like with Israel and Hamas, and then y'all going put Hitler on the screen for the answer. Like what? Yeah, so it was a trivia question. It was something about a anniversary.
It was a birthday.
Too. Yeah,
it was. Whose birthday is this?
Yeah, so it was a. He
was the answer.
What? What?
See, that's like when the Avengers talk about going back in time and killing baby Thanos. That's one of those where you're like, why don't we just go back and get the stones?
It was that day, the day of the game.
It was the game on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, it was like somebody's birthday. I don't know the actual question, but yeah, Reggie said it was somebody's birthday, blah, blah. And then they give you A, B, because the Gophers do this too. They give you A, B, C, D, and the Vikings do it. And you pick, and then when the answer pops up, then the person pops up.
And the answer was Hitler?
The answer was Hitler. So his face was on the Jumbotron, and of course, Barstool.
Is that enough that he would be a choice?
Yeah.
But the fact that he was the answer?
Yep. And so it blew up, and then
talk about not reading the room.
I didn't realize it was that.
Yeah, it was that bad. It was that bad. Another good one though, from the internet. By the way, speaking of Dionne Warwick, I don't know if you guys remember when I forgot who died, and maybe it was Prince, and somebody was like, "Lord, why'd y'all take Prince or something? You should have took Keisha Cole."
Oh my god.
That's terrible.
And Keisha Cole quote tweeted it man, forget all y'all.
That is so messed up.
Oh, because they was saying of all the people who could sing, why would y'all take Prince?
Oh my god.
Lord, take Keisha Cole instead. I was like, what are we doing? What is wrong with the internet?
Yeah.
Hey, also, Ron, Michigan State has to do the right thing now, and the only thing that can be done, they have to hire Urban Meyer. That's what they have to do.
Rehabilitate their image.
Urban Meyer is a slumdog millionaire. Did you see him getting caught on his pregame show talking to a girl off
He
the stage?
Just can't help himself.
Yeah, and they didn't realize the camera was still on him. He didn't
can't help himself, man. Good Lord. What? Oh my gosh.
He's shortening his field pass, so he's probably hey, I can get you on the field too. You know what I mean? What are you doing after this?
He's in the scumbag Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's still married.
It's yeah.
He is
he got
not
caught at the Jacksonville bars.
But yeah, he's on demon time at all times. I'm happy for him, but he's crazy.
I'm happy for him.
He's crazy though. But the other one, Spice Adams told me this last night. I didn't see this. There's a meme of Kirk Cousins getting mad at Jordan Addison for taking the interception away. He's like, I'm on Monday night. I'm trying to throw interceptions. Stop taking my interceptions away.
That's funny.
I haven't seen that one, but he said NFL memes tweeted that.
He understood the assignment on the first one, but clearly not the second one.
Right. And that's where, now the joke makes even more sense. I forgot he threw the first one. So yeah, he said Kirk Cousins' team was stopping him from being his best self.
Well, we were up in the press box. We were like, oh man, he did it again. And then Jordan Addison is still running. We're like, wait, did he catch that? I think everybody in the press box was like, oh man, did he catch that?
Yeah, if he had thrown 3 picks that game, oh my goodness, they would have roasted him forever. But we got to move on now. We got a word from our sponsors, but we're going to talk about the Wild. It is hockey season is upon us. This is one of those weird times of the year where you got hockey, baseball, football. Now you got more hockey, basketball, football. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Wild. They're 3-3-1. But before we do that, we have a word from our sponsors.
We gave you our locks, and let me remind you that if you are new to FanDuel, if you want to start your account today and you want to match our bets, which I'm sure we'll all win on the NFL, FanDuel.com/lockedon, sign up or use the FanDuel Sportsbook app, and this is the promotion that you can get in the action on at America's #1 sportsbook. Bet 5, get 200. 200. 40 times your money. Bet 5, get 200. That's guaranteed. Win or lose. That's guaranteed cash deposited into your account in the form of bonus bets. And then you've got myriad options in front of you. You can bet the spreads, the props, futures, and you've got all the crossover sports. You've got baseball going right now, NBA, NHL, NFL, college football, college basketball starting soon. So you literally could not pick a better time to get started at FanDuel. FanDuel is very easy to use. They pay out quickly when you win. Why wouldn't you make every moment more at FanDuel? And FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL.
Well, really quickly before we get out of here, Wild. It's time for let's talk a little hockey. Sam, take it away.
Yeah, you can't think of really a more basic start in hockey than a 3-3-1. You're treading water. The Minnesota Wild right now lack a defensive identity, and maybe it's because Jared Spurgeon is out. They miss Jared Spurgeon. We thought Brock Faber was going to step in, and he's been good, one of their best defensemen, but the defense has not been there. They've given up 6. They've given up 7 in the early season. They gave up, I think, 4 or 5 against Columbus. It hasn't been a strong defensive effort. That's okay. I'm here to tell you that don't buy into anything you see in the month of October in hockey. It's kind of like the NBA. Wait till Christmas. Then you can start really dialing in on game by game, sweating it out. Every year's a new year. It takes a while to get into your rhythm. It takes a while for the coach's structure to get in place. So as long as you're 500, I'm not panicking at all about the Wild. Let's get Kaprizov going a little bit. Let's see if Spurgeon can come back at some point. That long-term IR is a little bit scary, but I, for one, am not worried about a 3-3-1 Wild team.
Reggie.
Time to get the Gus bus going a little bit. I think that has not been the most inspiring efforts. We've seen multiple 7-point, 6 last night. It's not a recipe for success long term. That's for sure. He's goalie number 1. You're pretty much putting your line in the sand. Hey, he's the top guy, and then Flower's gonna be in to spell him every now and again. And so, kind of want to see a better effort from that. Just want to see a little bit more consistency from the Wild. They've lost 2 straight. I mentioned that last night on Care. They've lost 2 straight, but they haven't won 2 straight just yet. And so, just kind of want to see them put together at least a couple wins to just inspire the fan base, because right now it's clunky and not really sure what to expect from this team on a given night.
Julia.
Yeah, I would say defense for sure. I mean, now that Jared Spurgeon is on the long-term IR, they really have to figure this out, right? Because it's been kind of well, is he going to be back tonight? Well, what's kind of going on here? Yeah, the young defense has got to get it together. Also, I think they're missing Matt Boldy too, right? He's been out. Kirill, I feel like Kirill's been trying to carry offensively this team, but he's just not had a lot of options, and that goes hand in hand with the defense too. They haven't given him a lot of options. So I just more balance, more success on both ends of the rink too. They're also missing Freddie Gaudreau right now as well. But I think the chemistry also, and like you said, Sam, it's October, so it's so early. But the chemistry of this team doesn't look great right now, but definitely has potential for sure.
Well, for me, quickly before we get out of here, I mean, you got Erickson, Eck, Zuccarello, and Kaprizov all kind of in the same spot. You know, they're the top 3 leading guys, 9 points. But I'm going to go with like Alex Micheletti, Pat Micheletti. I kind of watch what they say on Twitter, and I every once in a while just ask them hockey questions. And Kirill doesn't look like the Kirill they've seen before, but it's early. It's only 7 games in. And I think that's what people forget. Basketball's the same way. It's early. Sometimes you do want to get those early leads and try to rattle off 10 wins and get ahead of everybody else. So when the pack comes back to you, you have a lead, versus if you melt down in the end and you don't have any space, you fall back. But it's about getting comfortable again. I'm not big into like what it takes for hockey, but I'm guessing it's similar to basketball: space, defense, all the little things here and there. The games I've been to for the while, it's about aggressiveness, who's going to be the bruiser, who's going to hit. And I think everybody tries to find their way early. Like, you don't really see a ton of fights, a ton of dirty stuff early. Guys are trying to figure out their way and see what the team's going to be, who's going to be the what on the team. But I think if they're going to be great down the stretch, Kaprizov has to be a different beast again. He has to be an all-star. He has to be one of the best skaters on the floor at all times. And that maybe he hasn't have his in-season legs back yet. Maybe that's part of it, because from what I hear, 45 seconds is about the clip you want to be on the ice for. And if he's going longer, like 90 seconds, as he's done in the past, and he's not able to get it done, maybe that's a problem. But at the end of the day, defense. If you're not knocking people out, if you're not protecting the net, it doesn't matter. Like, you can be as great as you want, but if they're scoring more than you and you're not able to stop anybody, it doesn't matter. So I think that's probably part of the problem. Real quick before we get out of here, people, 10 seconds. What do you think? Vikings score, Gophers score. Skip the Gophers. Vikings score, Packers Sunday. What do you got, Julia?
I'm going to go 21-14 Vikes.
Reggie.
31-27 Vikings.
Sam.
Well, I talked a big game in the locks about a 13.5-point spread, so I got to do that. 33-17 Minnesota.
I'm going to go 24-17 Vikings over the Packers. I'm Ron Johnson. That's Sam Ekstrom, Julia Daniels, Reggie Wilson. This has been Locked On Sports Minnesota's Friday Roundtable. Great sports talk all the time, but you can also subscribe to the Locked On Sports Minnesota podcast on YouTube, also Amazon Fire and Roku. And remember, the football party 4 days a week. We got the the basketball party as well, diving in everything. Wolves, and after every game, check out our postcast. Gophers has been great. Heather Fleck has joined, not on the show, but she's been in the room. So if you want to be in the room with Heather Fleck, make sure you check out the Gophers postgame show after they play Michigan State. And hopefully there's nothing about Hitler around the Gophers. Well, I'm Ron Johnson. Have a great weekend, people.